go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? I feel like I'm rushing in from somewhere, but I'm not. But I am late, so it does feel like I'm rushing to me. How's everyone doing today? Sorry, I'm so late. I'm not discombobulated, so I'm just late. I'm not like frazzled or anything. Just late. Just late. How's everyone doing? Gonna fix up while you guys come on in. Oops, this isn't good. Good. Put that top on. Please tell me why I don't fix up earlier, ever. But it's okay. I'm fixing up now. This over here. Give me a little powder here. Just a little. What is that? What happened there? I don't know what that is. I see something I don't like, so let me fix it right now. I don't even know why this is here. A little bit of wetness here. I don't like it. Yeah. All right. We fix that. We do not like wetness. Moisture, wet, moist, no, wetness. It was wet, not moist. It was wet. We don't like that. We only like moisture in our hair and in our punanis. That's it. Anything beyond that, I don't like it all moist, wet. A dry punani hurts, everyone. If it's dry, it hurts. So we might as well just talk about it. And as you get older, it gets drier. What is that? Who is that? All right, whatever. Sheena, we have to talk about these things. Where do you get to talk about these things with people? We have to talk about these things. I don't care. How are you doing? How are you doing today? Maybe is the better question. How are you doing today? I don't want to put this on. I think I'll put this on. How are you doing today? How are you feeling? So, oh, up. Where is my step stool? Hold on, guys. Got to get my step stool. You guys don't know this, but I keep a step stool underneath my chair. Because without it, my leg doesn't circulate. And this keeps my leg circulating. All right. Oops, where's my glasses? Sheena, catching up on your videos. Oh, look at you. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning. I know, I look like the sun. I know. You know, the sun has different colors, by the way. The only thing I'm missing is something orange. But I don't have an orange bracelet. Nope, don't have an orange bracelet. Now I need to get a calcite bracelet. Now you just taught me something. Janine, good morning and happy Friday. Dee Dee Scott, good health. Janine, good health. Sheena, good health. So, so let me tell you guys that I looked at so many videos to make kimchi. So many videos to make kimchi. I'm obsessed with Chinese food. I think we talked about this, right? But here in the Caribbean, it's not that easy to get Chinese food. I wouldn't even go in a Chinese restaurant because it's not busy enough, right? Not happening. The Chinese restaurant needs to be busy, overly busy in order for me to go in it, right? In any case, so I try to create my own version of Chinese food. Like I told you this, I make cauliflower fried rice, right? In any case, I looked at so many videos to make kimchi, but I also can't make spicy kimchi. So I make something called bak chi, BAEK. It's called white kimchi, bayak kimchi, right? I looked at so many videos, so many that it kind of got confusing. The other thing I didn't want to do was add the flour base to it, right? Because flour has carbs, and I don't need those type of carbs in my body. So I looked at others, and others did not put the carbs in it. It's called a porridge. Some people do not put the porridge in. So I also didn't put the fish sauce in, but then I saw people didn't put the fish sauce in. And the recipe that I followed did not put the fish sauce. I did put sesame sauce in it because I don't have allergies to sesame sauce. In any case, you're supposed to leave it out for X amount of days. So I made a really big tin batch worth of kimchi. The one thing I did notice is that I didn't drain the paste. So I didn't drain the paste, so that bothered me. Because you should, like, you should, like, it doesn't matter. In any case, I did it on Tuesday, I believe. And they said, leave it out for 24 hours, leave it out for 48 hours. But I think I left it out for 3 days. No, I left it out for 4 days. I left it out for 48 hours. Why? I don't really know. Oh, yes, I do know. I left it out for 48 hours because when I first made the kimchi, I forgot to purchase green onions. And by the time I realized it, I couldn't go back out, right? Because I walk, I don't have a car. So I said, well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll go back and tomorrow and get the green onions. So I put the green onions in, but I felt like because the green onions didn't get the same amount of time as the other, that I kept it out an extra day. So last night I kept saying to myself, put it in the fridge, put it in the fridge. And I said, no, it could use one more day. I wake up this morning, it smells rancid. Now it smelled rancid. When I opened it, it didn't smell rancid. So I'm like, well, how is that? How is it that I open it? I could smell rancid, but when I literally open it, it doesn't smell rancid. And that's when you need somebody else in your house, right? You need somebody in your house and you have to be like, smell this. What do you smell? Right? I don't have that. So on top of not having anybody in the house to help me, I figured the only way I'm going to find out is to taste it. How else am I going to find out unless I taste the rancidness? So I dig in and I get a spoon and I smell the spoon and it still doesn't smell rancid. But now I'm thinking, do I not smell the rancid because the rancid is fumigating the house, right? That's possible, right? You don't smell something if, right? That's possible. Okay, so I smell it. Okay, it's not on my hands anymore. I smell it and it doesn't smell rancid. And I said, okay, it doesn't smell rancid, so I'm going to taste it. I'm going to taste the juice. I taste the juice. The juice doesn't taste rancid. It just doesn't. And then I said, let me cut off a piece of the cabbage. Maybe that will be the better indicator. So I cut off the cabbage, and the only thing I noticed from the cabbage is that it didn't have enough salt in it. So I said, okay, I get that. Because salt is what makes it brine. And I use fine salt instead of coarse salt, right? So I could see where I went wrong. I need to use coarse salt. So I taste it, and then I swallow it, and then my stomach will tell me immediately, as anybody's would, that you're eating something rancid. My stomach would be like, girl, you need to go shit right now. And I got that immediately. Immediately I got, oh, nope, nope, nope. I'll tell you what we're going to do. It's what my stomach said to me. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take the little bit of crap that you just gave us. We're going to work it through your intestines, and we're going to bring some bacteria out. Is that okay with you? And I was like, well, it's just a little bit. Well, we're going to work it. All right. So I don't have the runs or the shits yet, but I'm assuming it's coming. In any case, now I have to do it all over again. Because the thing about kimchi is that you almost can't eat it for 2 weeks. Because you leave it out for 2 to 3 days. And then they said, depending upon your weather. So I live in tropical weather, and I did not consider the tropicalness of my neighborhood. And so I should have just left it out for 24 hours. That's what I'm thinking. I should have left it out for 24 hours and then let it be in my refrigerator longer, because you only have to keep it in your refrigerator for a week, but I can keep it in my refrigerator for 2 weeks. That's what I'm thinking. Juanita, can you not hear me? I always really should check this phone because this is ridiculous. Oh, no. All right. Let me see if you guys can hear me. No. Oh, no. Everyone can hear me. No. Juanita, everybody can hear me. Good health. Musings, good health. Good health. Good. Sheena can hear me. Ooh, Janine can. Everybody can hear me. In any case, check your phone, Juanita. Anissa, good morning and good health. All right. Good morning, Miss AC. I can hear you. I can hear you. Thank you. Hold on. Okay. So that's my kimchi story. and I have to do it over again. So I do have some Napa cabbage left over. I have some Napa cabbage left over, so I'm going to do it again. I have radish. I got to buy some more green onions, and I need carrots. And I think I need ginger. I need ginger too. So I'm going to do it over again, guys. Wish me well. Thank you, Musings by Monifa. Sorry, it was my phone. Good morning, good health. Good health, Juanita. That's okay. It was your phone. So today seems to be ugly windy for us, which I'm never going to complain about the weather in the wintertime. This is our version of winter, and our version of winter is 79, 80 degrees. That's winter for us. The sun doesn't beam down so hard, so she is kind to the Caribbean countries in the wintertime. hmm We love her. We have to talk like that to her because she'll burn you. So you have to be like, I love you. I thank you for your brightness. I thank you for showing up today, mother, son, father, son. Right? We have to be nice, 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 nice to her because she can be a little bit of a bitch when she's ready. So we don't want that from her. Okay. Hi, Nicole Young. Good health, Ken Ken. Hi, Stephen. Yay. I love it when my men show up, when the men show up. All right. It does. Okay. All right. So we have Priestess Ifashe coming on in a half an hour. So with that being said, oh, I started late today. I'm like, how is it 9:30 already? I'm going to go straight into the 5 things you need to know for today. The 5 things CNN. So this is my job, my unofficial YouTube job. We talked about this unofficially, officially. Also, if you want a reading with me, look at the banner down below. Those letters moving give you all the information that you need. But text me for your own personal reading, 213-458-7408. All readings are on Zoom. Oh, CNN has a podcast on the 5 things you need to know. Interesting. 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 5 p.m. But 6 a.m. must be yesterday's news, CNN, because you don't update your news until a little bit after 8 a.m. So actually, when you listen to me, I'm giving you the first set of 5 things you need to know. So the 5 things you need to know for February 17th. Oh no, Biden, earthquake, Ohio toxic train, and etc. You know, guys, I was looking at a video that someone sent me, and when the Ukrainians came here to America, host families needed to take them in, right? So, and you go to a host family and then you reestablish yourself slowly, is the way I'm thinking we have set it up for them. I didn't know there was such a thing as a host family. So, a Caucasian woman, takes in a Ukrainian mom and her son. And the woman that took her in lives in a mixed neighborhood of Latinx and Black. And this woman, Ukrainian woman, that was saved from Russia annihilating her and her son, and was allowed to come to America to start over again, which I think is a beautiful thing, seem to have forgotten that almost everyone here in America has a story of refuge, right? Everyone, almost everyone here, right? Maybe not Black people because we were forced here, but everybody else has some sort of story of wanting to create a new life, salvation. Money wasn't good in their countries. They came to America for the land of the free. And as in the last, I don't know, 30 years, this country is because other countries don't take care of their people. And so they almost beg to come to America, right? So she gets here and she's in a mixed neighborhood and she has a child and she has to send her child to school. And it turns out her child is going to school with Black and brown people. And she's appalled that she seriously thought that she would automatically find residence in a neighborhood in an all-white community. And then it took me back to the time when everyone was trying to escape and how they wouldn't let Black people on the train. And one woman was even pregnant. And they told them to walk. Racism is so real. Racism is so real that when you can't value that your son escaped bombings and that you land on a new country, I don't care if you landed in Africa, you better be grateful. And so I was a little appalled. And every morning I do the news and I do the news about Ukraine and how I worry for them, how I, as a Black woman, worry for them. I worry for their safety and their health and their whole being, and how I'm concerned that Russia is doing what they're doing in this war. And it begs the question, should I care? Should I continue to care about people that hold on to racism so much that they can't see they were at death's door? Racism is never going to be your problem because the person that tried to kill you was not Black. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if doing the right thing is something I want to do today. I don't know. Hi, soul sister. Hi, Nicole. Hi. Good health to you, Tracy. Thank you, sweetie. I like that number 6 at the end. Boily, good health. Unfortunately, the Ukraine was former Nazi regime, was it? Really? Ukraine? Oh, that's something I just learned today. Ukraine? I thought they were always a part of the USSR. Oh, you teach me something today. Oh, you teach me something today. I had a Ukrainian act, I don't know what that means, very racist towards me while I was in the store back in December. Well, you taught me something today. There is something in this Wikipedia where Ukrainians did collaborate with Nazi Germany. They were looking for their independence. Um, hmm. Ukrainians who collaborated with Nazi Germany did so in various ways. They hooked up with the German Ukrainian police have been involved in at least the preparations for BABALU-AYE massacre. Wow. I'm learning something today. I'm really upset, guys. Hmm. You know, sometimes when you have a history that goes back to Nazi Germany, sometimes the history stays inside of you, right? And so if it doesn't stay inside of you, it stays a part of a bigger system. So I do feel like looking at this article, the Ukrainians collaborate, it's called a collaboration with Nazi Germany from 1941 to 1945. And they collaborated believing that they could be separated from Russia, USSR. When the Germans occupied Poland, it was called the Ukrainian SSR with Nazi Germany in World War II. Hmm. 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 Oh, this is very interesting. So there were some people that in Ukrainian they were split in three. One group went to Nazi Germany, the other group went to the Red Army. Um, but what they were hoping for, the ones that went with Nazi Germany, was to be freed from Russia. The atrocities against Jews during the Holocaust in Ukraine started within a few days of the beginning of the Nazi occupation there. Oh, oh my God. There were indications that the Ukrainian auxiliary police, formed in 1941, in August of 1941, was used in a roundup of Jews for the Babi-Yar massacre and in other massacres in cities and towns of modern-day Ukraine, such as Stefan Liv. Oh, that's one of the places that keeps getting bombed. Lusk and Zantomar. On September 1st, 1941, Nazi-sponsored Ukrainian newspaper Volhin wrote, "The element that settled our cities, Jews, must disappear completely from our cities. The Jewish problem's already in the process of being solved." Reinforced by religious prejudice and anti-Semitism, had turned violent in the first days of the German attack on the Soviet Union. Mm. Mhm. Something very gruesome happened here against the Jews in Ukraine. 7,000. Why don't the Jews talk about that? They're so busy trying to attack. You know, maybe that's my problem today. The American Jews are so busy trying to attack, um, Kanye West, right? The peon in the group. But why aren't they talking about Biden saving Ukraine when 7,000 Jews were murdered by Ukrainian nationals led by the Ukrainian People's Militia as of 1945? As of 1945, Ukrainian militants were still rounding up and murdering Jews. I mean, it's just not talked about, is what I'm saying. It's not talked about. All right. All right. Well, you taught me something today. Oh, I already talked about the train derailment yesterday, but it's going to be mentioned on the fight. Hi, good health. Yeah, that story was a lot. How are you on somebody else's tax dollars as a refugee expecting accommodation? I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't understand that they are using the tax dollars of Black people. Maybe they don't get it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt to say they're not educated enough. But in any case, this article that I saw, I don't know who sent me the article. Maybe I could find it real quick. Um, the woman that took in, it must be some sort of placement that you sign up for. She got rid of her. They had to end the placement because the racism had come into the woman's house. And she was white. And she was like, I cannot deal with this right now. Like, do you recognize how lucky you are? Do you get it? Like, people are so pathetic. Like, why is it we're supposed to understand what you're going through, but somehow or another you can carry racism from across the seas? That doesn't make sense to me. Once again, our U.S. government has lied to the general public to gain our support under a false narrative. Thank you, sweetie. I get you. Well, you know why we turned against Haiti, right? Haiti took its independence, and they will never be forgiven for taking their independence. So, not by the American people, not by the British people, not certainly not by the French people. Take that dark girl, take that dark energy and your son, and get the hell up out of here because we're not down for that anymore. Let me see if I can find it. Sometimes I see things and I just get so upset. Let's see who sent it to me. Might have been no. Let me see who sent it to me. No, No. Oh, man. No. Okay. Let me go back up. Oh, it might have been LP. No. Hmm. Wasn't sure. No. Oh. I don't know who sent me the thing, but story unavailable. No, it wasn't Tiffany. Okay. Just go down. Courtney? Nope. Damn it. If I could find it, I would play it for you. If I find it, I'll put in a separate video. Unless it was sent on my messenger. It was sent on my messenger. Nope. Mm-mm. All right. I have no idea. Amber. Nope. Cynthia. Nope. All right. I don't know where it's at. But in any case, this person had to stop the placement with this Ukrainian woman because her racism couldn't get past how safe she was. And I think that's the saddest thing. I think that's sad. I mean, it actually makes me angry, but for right now, I'm not the one that's suffering. You are. And I bet you left family members behind. I bet you. And all you could think about is that you don't want your children to go to school with black people and brown people. Stupid. Just dumbass people. I can't take the racism. All right, 5 things you need to know today. President Joe Biden Thursday said his administration still doesn't know exactly what the mysterious objects over North America airspace were, but there's no indication. But there's no indication they were tied to China's spy balloon program. China's spy balloon program wasn't a spy balloon program. I promise you. After that, they just went up in the air to prove that we're big and bad. Ooh, we're big and bad. We're going to take down every Chinese thing that comes at us. You know, this is Asian hate, people. If you guys didn't know it, the Biden administration is participating in Asian hate. Yes. Yes. This is Asian hate. So don't be surprised if there's attacks in the Asian community talking about the balloon. You bring the balloon to us. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is Asian hate. There's a better way to handle this. If you really want to just shoot down a goddamn balloon, shoot down the balloon. Nobody needed to know. You don't tell us half the things with the Chinese balloon. Let's talk about that. Liars. Liars. Just liars. Oh, it came from Sherrilton? That is hilarious. I'm like, I can't find it. Where did it come from? She's typing right now. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't know where it's at. What happened to it? Oh my God. Okay, no worries. Okay, good. This works out perfectly, actually. Let me see if I can get the speaker on. That is the funniest thing ever. Check your WhatsApp. It came from Cheryl. Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. I'm gonna play it for you guys, and then I'm gonna go heat up my coffee. No, stop it. What's that? Where is it? Sheraton. This is it. It's like, hold on. Ukrainian. It's I can't see how long it is because I want to heat up my coffee. But this is it. Let me bring this down. And let's what messages are coming? No messages while I try and show this video. Ukrainian refugees that wait for safety are now that are wait. Here we go. Oh, let me push you back. Oh, it's 3 minutes long, so I can heat up my coffee. There you go. No. Well, if you don't get to see it, listen to it. Okay, guys? There you go. Ukrainian refugees that fled their country to go to the UK for safety are now finding it difficult to live because of all the lack in those areas. After a week of the majority of my neighbors are Muslims or Kashmiris or Pakistanis. They're basically taken to the basement. I found a moon table key last summer. She admits that at first, living side by side with so many different cultures made her feel afraid. I was very afraid because when we were talking about how Ukraine was treating African people. Their trains, their buses, they were telling them, no, we are going to give first, and then whatever.
Same school in the same neighborhood with our people. It does not make sense, and I'm glad the truth is being exposed. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Ongate ZELLE. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
How sad is that? I'm being told by Charlton the Muslim community was one of the first to raise money to help them. Weird. Very, very weird. So sad. Just so sad. I don't know. No. Sad. Alrighty now. All right, Biden, mysterious object, blah, 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 blah. I'm over it. Earthquake survivors. At least 3 more people have been pulled alive from the rubble of a devastating earthquake 10 days after it struck Turkey and Syria. A rescued 17-year-old was dubbed the Miracle Girl when she was found alive underneath the debris in Turkey on Thursday, 248 hours after. That's why you got to believe in God, people, because that is amazing. Ohio toxic train. State and federal officials held a news conference Thursday in East Palestine, Ohio, as residents expressed frustration about the response to a train carrying potentially deadly materials that were derailed in their own town 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Michael Rogan, the head of the EPA, aimed to reassure residents that authorities were focused on keeping them safe. Lies. I want the community to know that we hear you. Do you really? Because they're right now, as you're speaking, they are dying. We see you, and that we will get to the bottom of this, adding that the EPA plans to hold the train company, Norfolk Southern, accountable, but that's not really who owns the train company, accountable for its role in the derailment. All of the trains that have derailed in the past few weeks have been from this Norfolk company. So whoever was asking me about the train wreck, I did it yesterday, and I showed a video showing people that there's been a number of train wrecks, so something bigger is going on rather than talking about this one Ohio train wreck. There's been like 5. So far I've read Biden and the mysterious objects, earthquake survivors. I love that a 17-year-old was pulled from the rubble. God is so good. Ohio toxic train. And the next thing to talk about is Ukraine. Now Tesla. Tesla is recalling all 363 U.S. vehicles with its so-called full self-driving driver assist software due to safety risk. Full self-driving. Guys, could we not get in a car that drives itself? Could we not? Like, today is not your best day. I would think with Elon Musk having so many money issues in other areas of his life, I think that he is spread thin. He's in NASA, he's in Twitter, and Tesla is just not doing good. And when you have money problems, you have labor issues. That's what my dad told me. And so when you have labor issues, the cars will come out very, very funky. This self-driving, these self-driving cars, it's cute until you crash, or it's cute until it takes you into the water. So it says, Fulton, as it currently stands, navigates local roads, so not highways, local roads with steering, braking, and acceleration, but requires a human driver prepared to take control at any moment. How? How is a human driver supposed to take control at, because you're supposed to be in the driver's seat, but then you press the full self. Why? I don't want to be in a driver's seat and then go to sleep. Although there are times when I used to drive that I'd be like, I just wish I could go to sleep right now. But then you just pull over, right? Human driver appears to take control at any moment as the system makes judgment errors. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration that based on its analysis, Tesla's FSD feature, full self-driving feature, led to an unreasonable risk to motor vehicle safety based on insufficient adherence to the traffic safety laws. It warned the FSD could violate traffic laws. That means run red lights, people, at some intersections. See? Before some drivers may intervene, Tesla will attempt to fix the FSD feature through an over-the-air software update so it doesn't see red light, green light. Oh my God, I'm over it. Here's a good one I think I need to check. Ryan Seacrest is divorcing Kelly Ripa. Ryan Seacrest is divorcing Kelly Ripa, and the only person that gets along with Kelly Ripa is Mark Consuelo. So the husband will be her new co-host, and Ryan's leaving mid-season, right? Not like waiting until the season ends and then coming out with a new co-host like Mark Consuelo's the husband. Guys, is Kelly a problem? Do we need to put her under psychic review? I saw she was a problem. Oh, is Sherrilton here? Oh, no. I saw she was a problem with Strayhorn. He was stressed dealing with her. Stressed. His face used to be made up like stress. So somebody just sent me something. Thank you, Cynthia. Oh, good. And it says the toxic chemical released in East Palestine, Ohio, listen to this, could be the largest environmental disaster in U.S. history. Could be. Now, when they say could be, they're really saying it is. Could be. I'm like shocked and dismayed. This is bullshit. No, bullshit. Let me read the rest of it. It's from me. Go to the post, Tracy. Thank you. Let me see. The toxic chemical released in East Palestine could be the largest environmental disaster in U.S. history. Listen to this, people. Animals are dying. People are complaining of nausea, headaches, burning eyes, and residents are fearing for their safety after a train derailment released chemicals in East Palestine, Ohio. We may not know the full extent of the damage from this extreme environmental disaster. Norfolk Southern and the government must be held responsible. Where's Buttigieg? Where's Buttigieg? Why have we not heard from him? Oh, girl. Janine, I thought you were talking about your daughter, and I'm like, why is she calling Ryan a he? I'm like, what is happening, people? Oh my God, you scared me, Janine. Okay. Ryan is leaving in May. He got several business ventures, and he says that he's stretched too thin. He's been on for 6 years. You keep hearing negativity about Kelly's personality. Yeah, Ryan has a contract. He can't just end his contract and go, I know, you scared me, and go with other business ventures. No, if he's leaving, he has an harassment issue with her. That's how he's getting out the contract. So do we need to check that? Has Ryan been harassed or bullied by Kelly Ripa? You know, after the Strahan case, they made her executive something or other of the show because she felt like they sucker punched her because he was trying to leave without her knowing about it, because that's how dangerous her personality is. And the producers were with him. They were like, yeah, don't say anything. We'll tell her something else later. We'll tell her you got sick. We'll say anything, but just save yourself. And then remember, she went on a strike. When she went on a strike, they should have let her strike. This should have just been a whole mess. But Disney and ABC, they're always trying to appear like they're good old people. That shit never lasts. And here comes TJ Holmes and Amy Robach throwing that in the garbage, right? They should have let that 9 o'clock hour die. She is not healthy. She is a bully. She acts like she's all sweet. She's a monster underneath that little tyke. Like, you know, the little tykes, they're the worst. Kelly, yep, put her under psychic. Put her under psychic review, Tracy. Kelly has been a problem. Michael Strahan has had issues with her too. Yes, all the above. Me too. I used to love her, but you know what I remember? She didn't get along with what's his name? Remember, she was the co-host with the other guy. She didn't get along with him, and he refused to communicate with her outside of the job. He would not have anything to do with her outside of the job. Mm-hmm. Regis Philbin. She didn't get along with Regis Philbin. And he decided, oh, you don't get along with me? You and I are never talking. And so, other than the job, Regis is a full professional, did his job, walked out. Did not invite her to parties, nothing. Mm. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. She said Regis to early retire. I think so. I really do. Yep, he did not associate with her outside the job. Let me do a little bit of research and then like about Regis, what happened there, about Michael Strahan, what happened there, and then psychic review. So I can talk about all those things that led up to even Ryan Seacrest. ABC, I have to tell you, you guys are the worst. I think you all need to be revamped. I think your morning show, nobody's watching Regis and Kelly. And if anybody's watching, it's not ethnic people. Ethnic people are not watching. So, yeah, all right, I don't care. We have something better to talk about. We got herbs to talk about. We got Priestess Ifa Shea that everybody loves to talk about. We are not Kelly Ripper. We got survival of the fittest and education on herbal energy so that we could be positive, healthy, and glowing and happy.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Everyone, welcome. Priestess Ifa Shea.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. You sings goes, yay.
I'm loving that. Is that yellow? Whatever it is, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's you know you're supposed to wear it under your bathing suit. It's that type of thing where you wear it.
Oh, it's like the cover over.
Cover ups, the cover up. But you
Yeah.
know, I wear things as a blouse, like whatever.
Me too. I have one that it looks like a dress. I mean, it really,
Exactly.
Who's to say they put a label on it and we could relabel it, right?
Put on some biker shorts, and you clean it up.
That's right. That's right. Good morning, everyone.
Janine says, yes, love the priestess.
Thank you so much.
Hi, priestess, says Musings.
Mm-hmm.
Lottie says, I love.
Lottie, Janine, everyone, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How was your week? I hope your week was productive.
Yeah, go ahead, talk to them. Talk to them.
I hope you had a productive week, And whatever you accomplish, even if it's one thing out of the 10 list of things you had to do, it's still progress. So give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
We made it through another week. Mm-hmm.
I talked about that this morning when I went to exercise, and I didn't exercise yesterday, didn't exercise Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then this morning I was like, so I'm back. So
I mean, we have enough things to stress ourselves about. We don't need to beat ourselves up when we don't, accomplish all that we intended to, Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last few weeks, what topics have we gone over?
So last week we covered mending, right?
Yes.
The week before self-love.
Yes.
The week before that, I can't remember. I don't think we had a specific topic, although I did. Whatever herb I discussed, we spoke about the spiritual attributes.
Yes.
But I think that it's nice to have a topic and then, present an herb that would support with that, whatever that topic is for the week. Hmm.
Yes, yes.
So today we're talking about anger, right?
Anger,
Right?
anger.
Right. So
Yes,
we went from self-love and the importance of self-love, right? And
yeah,
then mending relationships if we're
yes,
so ready, right? And
yes,
what that could look like. And then today, now anger, which is an emotion that comes up when we're trying to get to a place of self-love or when we're trying to get to a place of mending relationships, right? So it's something that it's really important, that we work through, or
yes,
continually work through, right? Because, healing is an ongoing thing, right?
yes.
It's
It's not, it doesn't, you don't get cured
yeah,
healing.
it's constant, right? Because sometimes
Yes,
we think that we're over something and a situation happens and it triggers, and
yes.
then we realize, okay, I still need to work through this, right?
I still have anger issues. But I
Mm-hmm.
just want to point out, Ajira says, Ekaro,
Hey, Carol.
Ekaro. See, I pronounced it right.
Shea Dada
Uh,
Laji. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that's what we'll be talking about today. And so to everyone, I would pose the question: do you think that you have some anger to go through? Sometimes we don't realize that we do because we've been living with it for so long, right?
mm,
That we don't even we've gotten used to the discomfort of it,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Because it is discomfort, because it really um, impacts how we show up in the world, how we interact with
Mm-hmm.
people, how we you know interact in relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and then anger is an emotion that sometimes society makes us ashamed to express it, right? Oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
so angry. Or um, so it's like we end up suppressing it a lot of times,
It
right?
still comes out anyway, even if you suppress it.
That's what suppression is, right? It's not going away. So you're still showing
Right.
up that way. You're still
Right.
showing up that way. Have you ever interacted with someone or just be around someone, and just by their energy, you say to yourself, wow, that person is really angry?
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't
Yeah.
even realize that it's showing, but it
Yeah.
shows. Hmm.
Yeah. I definitely would like to bring anger to
Hmm.
the retreat,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Because more importantly, women carry anger.
Yeah, because we're supposed to show up in the world a certain way, dainty and
Sexy,
sexy and submissive
motherly.
and nurturing and all of that,
Yes.
so we take
Yes.
and take and take.
When
And
anger is not an issue that anybody wants to deal with. And when you have to deal with the anger issue,
they'll be
everybody's
like,
like,
what's
oh,
wrong with
you're a
you?
problem.
Right, what's
Right.
wrong with you? Right. Hmm.
What's wrong with you? Right.
So, yeah, so it's something that, I mean, we all, right, men and women, right? But to your
Yes.
point, women do harbor a lot of anger, that they themselves don't even realize how deep it goes sometimes,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And talking about the men, men show anger by shutting down. They won't talk about it.
Exactly. Because that's a difficult emotion to deal with, right? Because
It is.
attached to anger, it can be pain, can be disappointment, can be, so many things, right? Because
Yeah.
um, anger, you can't express yourself, so the loss of your voice, right? Because
Mm.
you don't want to be seen as the problem person sometimes,
Yes.
right? So
Right.
you'll keep it in, suppressing it,
Right.
right?
Right.
But still showing up a certain way because it's going to seep through, It's
Yeah.
going to seep through your aura.
It
You know,
will.
it
It
will.
will.
You
I
know,
think what's also interesting is that anger will show up as body aches.
a lot of things. It's going to manifest in some way,
Yes.
right? So
Right.
well, let's get started.
Let's get
Right?
started.
Yeah. So the affirmation for today is very simple.
Let's hear it.
Simple in terms of the sentence structure, right? But it'll take work to get to that point, to that place. Releasing anger will improve my quality of life. So think about that for a moment, right? How think about your way of being absent from the anger for those who are holding on to a lot of energy of anger. Think about your way of being, what your way of being could be if you were able to release that anger, right? And then
Hmm.
how do you release that anger is what you should start thinking about, right?
Right.
And what has been preventing you from releasing the anger, another thing to think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
you know um so anger, right? So all emotions are stored somewhere in the body. Trauma
Mm-hmm.
is stored in the womb area, the sacral chakra area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pain, disappointment is stored in the heart, right?
Mm, mm,
um Grief is stored in the kidney. So the
mm.
energy of those emotions are stored somewhere in the body. They're housed somewhere in the body, right? Anger is stored in the liver. Now, the liver is so critical to our being as a body, as a physical body, because
Yes.
it removes and releases all of the toxins from our body, right?
Yes.
Purifying the blood, um, so all of the toxins are released, through the liver, and toxins from whatever part of your body, from whatever organs in your body. It's, whether it's from medication, food that you eat, um, pollutants in the air,
Yeah.
right? So the liver
Liquor,
is about
liquor,
release
drugs.
drugs, even
Mm-hmm.
birth control pills. Someone who's been on birth control pills for a long time,
Mm.
um, that's it would take about 2 years to get that out of the body, right? And there are, ways that you can detox to try to move
Right.
that through your body, but we lean
Right.
on the liver, right,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to support us with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important that we take care of our liver. So what happens if the toxins aren't able to be processed through the liver?
Mm. Yeah. What happens?
Well, what happens? What do you
Oh.
think would happen?
Oh. Oh. I'm sorry. The liver will shut down.
And what's going to happen ultimately?
You. You are gonna have to figure out that without your liver, you cannot
You're in
survive.
trouble. You're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So the liver is releasing the physical toxins, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's also
Mm-hmm.
releasing the spiritual toxins, the
Mm.
anger, the energetic toxins, right? So if we are unable to release those toxins, what do you think is going to happen?
The
Similar,
liver will shut down.
you know, we will shut down, everything will shut down, right?
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
be challenging to, let's say, be at peace and be whole, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because what do we want in this life? Contentment, peace of mind, and wholeness, right? Not perfection, wholeness. We
Yeah.
want to feel whole,
I just
right?
want to feel happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So, yeah, how we process anger, though, is influenced a lot by our upbringing. You know, you have families that would argue to no resolution. Then you have
Oh,
families that would argue, then they would discuss it, each person will get heard, they'll come to a resolution. Where do
right.
you fit in with
Mm-hmm.
those two extremes? We all fit in somewhere, either at the extreme or somewhere in between,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
So, you know, we learn how to process anger through the environment that we grew up with. Do you
Mm.
get that? Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's passed on.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm.
know, if you grew up in a home that said grace before every meal, right? That's what you're gonna you understand what I'm saying? That's going
I
to be your
do. There's a practice
practice.
in there that will kind of stay, even
Mhm.
if you do it privately.
Right,
There's
right,
something about that practice that just
right,
stays. Now,
right.
listen, I
Hmm.
came from a family of two extremes. My mother never resolved her anger, she was just angry.
Hmm.
And my dad didn't process anger. He was like, ah, Millie, let it go, let it go.
So now he wasn't allowing her to use her voice, right?
She did
And so,
anyway, but it was just,
but it was in anger, I'm sure, because she was
oh,
frustrated. Mhm.
as the children watching these two extreme people, like right up until they died, I was like, why did you two get married? Why? Because these two extreme people, they didn't teach us well. And I'm not blaming them, guys. I'm not
No, no,
blaming
this
you,
is
but
not
we have
about
to talk
blame.
about it.
We just
They
have to.
didn't teach
Yeah.
us.
It's not about blame. At the end of the day, everyone went through their own life experiences, right?
Yes.
And this is where
Mm-hmm.
grace always have to come in for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves and also the people that we're interacting with as well,
Right.
because they
Right.
have their own story. We don't know what it is,
That's so true. Absolutely.
right? So it's not about blame here. It's
Yeah.
about shifting, right?
Yeah. I like
Shifting for
that
the better.
shifting.
Yeah. Hmm.
I love that
Yeah.
shifting. I love that word shifting.
Yeah. Gabriella says, I was taught not to express my anger, so it caused a lack of boundaries in adulthood and not being able to express discomfort. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just have a question for Gabriella. How are you? Because now that you know, how have you formed that change with boundaries and expression?
Mm-hmm.
Take your time, but she did say while I was asking the question, the emotion wheel
Yeah.
has
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to understand what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. You know? And so, yeah, so a lot of how we deal with anger is influenced by has been influenced by our environment growing up,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just
So,
want to show the
mhm,
people
mhm,
what the emotion wheel looks like. This one just it's a
okay,
really convoluted wheel, but this one
mhm,
is a little bit clearer, but it's not the full wheel. But that's kind of what it looks like. Just look up the emotion wheel, and it
mhm,
gives you an idea of where grief leads you, loathing leads you,
mhm,
anger leads you to rage.
mhm.
You know, so it will just stay focused, but it's a part of the emotional wheel.
Yeah.
Anger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, the key is recognizing and acknowledging so that you
Mm-hmm.
can then create your own shifting by how
Mm-hmm.
by your behaviors going forward or the actions you take going forward, right?
Hold on, Ifashe. Gabriella says therapy, which of course I encourage therapy with all of my clients, um, especially if the cards call for it. Therapy has been helping me and learning to have compassion for myself,
Yeah, yeah.
so
It's so
I can speak
necessary.
up.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
so necessary, you know?
Yeah. And then she adds, now I realize I deserve to feel how I feel. And boundaries are healthy for self-preservation.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, to the audience, to the listeners, how do you deal with anger? Do
How
you
do you guys deal with anger?
how do you process it? Do you process your anger by nourishing it,
Mm.
or do you process it to release yourself? How nourishing anger is not a positive thing, by the way, because then that means you're feeding it. Okay, I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
We're
that's
feeding
the
it.
best.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like we're
yes.
holding on to it. For whatever reason, we don't want to let it go, right?
Hence
So do you
obesity. Yes.
so do you nourish your anger, or do you process it? And some people are
Mhm.
able to process their anger,
Oh, Lottie
right?
says cry, so that's pushing it out.
Mm-hmm.
Emma says I suppress a lot, unfortunately, as I was made to feel bad expressing it. I hope
Yeah,
we begin to understand that you can start pushing it out, and if people don't like it, it's not your problem.
right, right.
Gabriella says tapping, yes,
Mm-hmm.
writing about it,
Mm-hmm.
asking myself, is it anger or is it grief?
Mm-hmm. But
Interesting.
but but grief can lead to anger,
Yes, it is
and
a part
anger
of,
to grief. By the way,
yes,
right?
yes, right.
Yeah.
Soul Sister says I suppress it.
Question. Yeah.
Janine says I talk and talk, and what makes me angry until I calm down. I'm kind of like you, Janine. I push out immediately and then I
Yeah.
talk. I'm
Yeah.
always like, wait, what was that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realize, okay, all right, there's a problem here. Let's talk about it. But
Yeah.
you're not about to do that with me.
Right.
So for me, anger is immediately.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
try to get clear on what I'm angry about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Christy Songwriter says, and
Mm-hmm.
then try to work through it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I don't think there's any wrong answers right now. I think there's acknowledgement of
yes.
how you deal with anger today,
Yes.
and then figuring out that
Mm-hmm.
maybe the way you deal with anger needs to be augmented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most importantly with these weekly discussions, right?
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring is awareness, self-awareness, most importantly, right?
Wait, Eva Shea. This happens to a
Yeah,
lot of women.
this
I
is one
end up,
thing.
yeah, I end up suppressing it too, says Musings. The person that I'm angry at acts like he hasn't done anything wrong.
Right,
Yes.
because they're not being held accountable. The
And
only way
they
that they can be held accountable is if we speak.
right. Mm-hmm.
So, you're
Mm-hmm.
suppressing it like if nothing is wrong. So he's
He's
also
happy.
ignoring it like if nothing is wrong, right?
He's happy,
So
right?
both of you,
We're not dealing with you not dealing with it. I'm not dealing
right,
with it. You're gonna
right,
suppress it? Good.
right. And so then the question becomes, how authentic are you? How authentic are you showing up in the world? And this is for everyone, right? And this is a question that I have to ask myself all the time as well.
Yeah.
Because remember, healing is ongoing, right?
Yeah.
So this is not me just teaching or expressing my views to you. It's
Right.
also teaching me. It's
Yes.
constant reminders. This is
Yes.
constant work that we do, right? Uh,
Constant work. Constant.
constant work, right?
Constant.
So some people express anger by holding it in, and then at some point they might just explode, and then everyone's looking at them like if they're nuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that they've been holding in so much for so long.
Yep.
Right? Some people shut down. They just say nothing. And that's another way of suppressing it, right? That's another meaning for suppressing it, right? As well as silence. And just stay silent, just say nothing, right? Some people are hot tempered and they just go at it immediately, right?
Yeah, right.
But always on the defense, which is also not healthy.
Yes.
Because that means you're not processing your anger.
Right.
You've created a protective mechanism, you know, which is defense, being defensive. And then, but what happens is then you're defensive about everything, even things that you don't need to be defensive about, right?
Yes.
Right? Some people are petty. You know, they get shady. They get passive aggressive. Oh, you love? You probably...
I love petty bitches. Like, petty bitches are my favorite.
They get passive aggressive, you know.
But I do understand that that's anger.
Yeah, it is. I'm guilty of having done it.
And when I see a petty bitch like Phaedra on Real Housewives of whatever, I identify with that.
You know, they
get that sort of shade. Anger.
Yeah, it's anger. A lot of times. Let's not say 100% of the time, Jack, but a lot of times it's anger. That's how anger manifests, right? Emotional eating, right? Addiction, right? Addictions of all, not just drugs. It could be sexual addiction. It could addictions of all types, right?
Yes.
And secrecy, just keeping everything to themselves, which is a way of being silent, right, and shutting down, but they're just, you know, sneaky.
Sneaky.
You know, like how we say cats are sneaky. You don't know what.
Can't trust a cat, right? But secrecy is in tandem to me with addictions. To me, I've seen it in my family where people are sneaky, simultaneously drunks.
Yeah.
And you'll never figure out why they drink so much, right? Because it's not showing up.
They you know, it's there, and even if they want to, and sometimes it's there for so long and rooted deeply for so long that we don't even know how. We don't know where to begin. Right? And so then frustration, so that it, you know, takes the anger to a higher level, because then you're constantly living what got you to that place of anger in the first place. Because sometimes it could be one incident in your life that started that ball rolling, right?
And Gabriella says secrecy equals shame. Wow. Wow.
So and
learning today.
All of that impacts how we show up in the world, right? There's no way, because you're not being your authentic self. Because for one reason or the other, you're not expressing. Whether it's you're feeling guilted into not doing it, whether it's shame, whatever it is, there's a reason, right? But across the board, it will impact how you show up in the world. Not just in relationships, right? I'm saying relationships of all types, right? Not just in relationships, but even in like your aspirations.
Really?
Yeah, because you're not, if you're being inauthentic, right? And you're holding certain secrets or whatever, you know, you might not go after something because, well, I have this, I don't want nobody to know about, so I can't, you know, I don't think I'm going to apply for that. You know, it's like justify. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I get it.
It can impact all areas of our life. It's not like you'll be like, okay, I'm this way with my family, but I'm like this out in the world. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Mm.
It goes with you wherever you go. And you may try to hide it, so there you go again, being inauthentic with yourself and out of integrity with yourself, right? So our secrets make us sick. You can say that again.
Our secrets, say that again.
Our secrets make us sick.
Yes.
That's what Christy said. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gabriella is saying, I've been asking myself if I feel emotionally safe around others. That's what causes secrecy or masking it in society. You know, I want to turn that around just a little bit, Gabriella. I think you need to recognize, are you safe with yourself first? To me, that's the way I think what needs to be acknowledged. If you think you have things to work on emotionally to be safe around others, then check yourself first, because you're just giving things up to others. So, because I live in a community where nobody knows me.
Yeah.
But I feel safe because I know my boundaries.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to check in, go deeper. You could be anywhere around. I mean, anywhere. You can go to a party where there are things going on, and you will never participate or never be touched because your boundaries kick up immediately.
Yeah. And so that's the other way that anger, our deep rooted anger, where if we're an angry person, this is how it impacts relationships that we can have, right? Because that energetic wall that's there, it's really keeping people away. It's not even, it's like making people not want to be around you. Right? Though there are some that would like to get on the other side of that wall, but it would also make people not want to be around you. Right?
Yes.
And
yes.
You could find yourself in a lonely place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not having friends,
Yes.
not having, people around you. Right?
Yes.
Those are some of the things.
I'm loving this.
So, so that's something that we ought to think about. Opportunities could be missed. Because if someone sees you as an angry person and they have a position front line that needs you to greet people as they come into, the department of an entertainment company or whatever, and you have that angry energy about you, they're not going to hire you. Are you capable of doing the job? Doesn't matter. Because that negative energy is going to repel them.
It comes through the interview.
Yeah.
And you could be very qualified, overqualified, and yet.
Yeah. So again, that's just to underscore that even though we're suppressing it, somehow it shows up. It definitely impacts how we navigate and how we experience the world. Right? It must be an awful feeling to feel that, you can't trust anyone, or, just going through life and not having that peace that's needed, that contentment we spoke about, that happiness, because that burden of anger, that energy of anger that we're carrying with us. Yeah. I'm learning to avoid those who are always angry and always negative. Yeah, that's good. And we always
recognizing it is part of the boundary. So when you see it in others,
But we
remove
all,
yourself.
but we also have to check ourselves as well.
Always, always, because
We
what you're
always,
drawn to
mhm.
is what's going on with you.
A lot of times, yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of times. Sometimes we can't stand somebody because we're actually looking in a mirror.
yeah,
But that's a
yeah.
topic for another day.
Well, but it fits. It fits
Yeah.
in this content. It
Hmm.
fits.
Hmm.
So it just means that there's a lot of work to be done
Self work.
without judgment. Let's
Right.
be really clear about that.
Yeah.
Let's not focus so much on this anger issue as if you have a problem.
Yeah.
If you were never taught, how do you know?
Right.
So today is your best day to start
Hmm.
looking at these issues without thinking you're a problem.
Yeah. You know. So silence, right? Getting back to like one who is silent, suppressing that anger, right, through silence. Here's how it can impact you as a person, and we all want to be known or seen as a good human being, right? But it's
Mhm.
going to im- it's going to affect how empathetic we are, because if we're angry,
Oh, interesting.
when you're angry at someone and they stub their toe, do you feel empathetic or do you say it's good for you?
It's good for you. I do like this. I go like,
Right? And even though you might say, oh, that's too bad, but you're not feeling it. Lack of
right,
empathy because you're so
right,
angry,
right,
right?
right.
So think about that and think about how it spans in other areas in
Mm.
our way of being, right? So lack of
Mhm, mhm,
empathy, compassion,
mhm,
and we're
mhm,
being untruthful, because if we say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and you don't mean it, you're lying. You're being untruthful,
right,
right? And
right.
inauthentic because you're showing up in a way that you're really not.
Absolutely.
So
I
now you're
know that.
wearing the mask, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's let that marinate for a little bit. Any comments from anybody?
No, we're just in awe. We're like
We
this.
we gotta love ourselves enough to be honest with ourselves.
Yes.
Granted, a lot of the anger that we feel came from an external place.
It came from someone else.
But at
Right.
some point,
We have to
we have
handle
to
it.
take accountability because they're not going to
Yes.
come. They're not
And
necessarily going to come and fix it. So now
admit that
we're
they made that. Right. They put
right,
that in you. Right.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to take accountability to shift it, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Because anger.
Um
Mhm.
mhm.
Wait, were you going to say
Oh, cuz
something?
Red Roses says when you made the comment, she goes karma.
Hmm.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? When you made the
Yeah,
comment,
yeah.
when
Hmm.
something bad happens to someone you don't
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
that's very karma.
Right, right.
Gabriella says, "Oh, bless your heart."
And don't just to be clear, anger is a healthy emotion, right?
Yes.
Why is it healthy? Because it allows us to release, right?
Yes.
And but
Yes.
if we're unable to release, then that energy is stored there and then it manifests in a way that is not in our best interest, you know?
Yeah, hold on a second. This is personal now, but Gloria goes, "My mom is angry with me because I don't want her to live with me. I tried to explain my reasons to her, but she doesn't want to hear it." Okay, so at this stage of the game, you just stop and just let it go. This is not fixable. You have to respect yourself. And the way you're respecting yourself is it's not okay for mom to live with me.
Hmm.
However, I would
Hmm.
just make sure mom was okay.
Yeah.
That means if she's having physical issues, get her a nursemaid. That means if she's having money issues, I would try and make sure that she has food and rent, right? So if you don't want her to live with you, you do have to overextend yourself in some way, right? Or else what's eventually going to happen, she's going to wind up living with you. You're going to wind up getting angry. But that's a whole deeper personal issue. I wanted to say stop and respect the reasons why you have, but you still might have to overextend yourself with your parents.
Yeah.
Lottie seems to be having issues with men. I don't know, Lottie. I think you might be attracting angry men because of your personality type. I think you come across very sweet. I think, Lottie, there might be an undercurrent of anger with you
that needs to be worked through. So there's something to explore. And that's how some people who are extremely angry, they and I'm not saying that this is you, Lottie, but as you mentioned, that's another way that anger is. These are the people that will kill you while in your sleep.
Right? Or
sweet.
Give her a boyfriend coffee, and it's like, a little tangy today, is it?
Right? So there's so many ways that we express it that, it's all worth exploring. Right? It's all worth exploring. Yeah. So one of the things is that you have to give yourself permission to be angry.
Lottie says we're right.
Excellent, Lottie. Kudos to you, right?
For the honesty, yes.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Eva Shea. Sorry.
Right. So, yeah. So when we on a place of anger, something gets upset, it's really important to explore what caused it. Because sometimes it can be something further back than the actual thing that just happened, the actual incident that just happened, right? Yep. It's really important to give yourself permission to express your anger, right? Now there are constructive ways to express your anger versus, tearing up, breaking everything, throwing dishes all over the place. That's not very constructive, right? But there are ways to constructively express your anger. How you feel is how you feel, right?
That's right.
Talking through it, right? If it's someone that might have gotten you upset, having a conversation with that person, if the circumstances are okay and safe to do it, but you have to work through it, and give yourself permission to feel it.
Right. I just want to point out one more thing, because Gabrielle says, I like to say, what about me is accepting this treatment? I don't know if that's the best phrasing, right? I think immediately, once you say to yourself, why am I accepting this? Remove yourself. Remove yourself from the situation that then could create your silence, that then could create your anger. So what is it about you that's accepting this treatment is a non-action. And that doesn't mean you respond with anger. The non-action is, don't talk to me that way. So what is it about you that's accepting this treatment is not wanting to look at the next steps, because the next steps could include anger from yourself, from the other person, but sometimes we have to deal with the ugly that comes with you sticking up for yourself. And recognizing for what it is, because if someone around you is not respecting you, not giving you your boundaries, you need to acknowledge that to then remove yourself from it, not match anger with anger. Hi, Mike. Not match anger with anger. So sometimes you accept treatment because it's easier for you. And
You
then
don't,
down the line,
you don't
that
want to.
pattern
You don't
stays.
want to cause waves. You don't want
You
to
don't,
rock the boat. For whatever the reason
absolutely,
is, right? But
absolutely.
just remember, we always have a choice.
Yes.
We always
Mm-hmm.
have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't allow circumstances, anyone or anything to make you feel that you don't have a choice. We always have a choice. And sometimes it takes courage to choose a particular thing that we know is better for us. I get that. But just keep in mind, we always have a choice.
Yes. And the court systems will always say that. They don't let anger win. They say, did you have a choice in that moment? Even if it means you were defending yourself. Did you have a choice in that moment? If you had a
Mhm.
choice in that moment, that's where the system can go left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that's the extreme part of it.
Mhm.
And the non extreme part of it, you have a choice
Mhm.
as to whether or not you're going to continue to stay in a relationship that allows you to accept bad treatment from others.
Mhm.
It is your choice.
Mhm.
We need to look at the boundaries and the choices that we're accepting for ourselves.
Yeah. And I just would like to add, is that, healing, right, is multifaceted, multi layered. So it's not like, okay, I'm going to work on anger for the next
Right,
6 months and
right.
nothing else. Sometimes they overlap. So just
Yes.
be clear about that, because as you're working through a particular thing and you discover where that anger originated from, you might not
Mm-hmm.
realize, okay, I have to work on my self confidence, or I have to work on using my voice. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we as human beings and our way of
Mm-hmm.
being, it's not just, you know, right? It's overlaps,
It's
right?
a lot.
Mm.
Right. It's a
So,
lot of considerations.
so this is why grace
I
should
love that
always
word.
be intertwined into our healing. Always. Grace for ourselves and grace for others. And you will hear me say that probably every Friday that I come on here. I'm going to talk about grace and the
I love
importance.
grace.
Grace and gratitude.
I love
Because,
gratitude.
because it's so easy for us to run down the list, run
Mm-hmm.
up a list of what's not working for us, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired. This is happening. That is happening. That is this is that. And then when we have to give a list of what's been working for us, what we accomplished. Oh, well, I did this. Oh, and I did that. And I
Mm-hmm.
did this, right? It's at a slower
Mm,
pace, right? But the
mm.
the things that's not working for us that's making us angry or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So
I
gratitude is
do.
important. Gratitude attracts. It attracts more because while we are in a state of gratitude and being grateful for what we have, I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful that I have legs or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in that moment it's also shifting your way of being and opening you up to be able to attract more positive things. If
Yes.
we're if we're in that state of anger, right, we're
Mm.
going to attract a lot of negativity, negative people, and we're like, I don't want to be around that person. That person is toxic. Well, then question, why did you attract that person? I'm not saying that it is absolutely so that you attracted that person because you're toxic yourself, but it's always good to examine, self check. That's all, right?
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Yeah. So
it
just
absolutely does.
know that it goes both ways, right? Because could you imagine if everyone was walking around thinking that everyone has done them wrong and they haven't done anything to anybody? Who's going to heal?
Mm,
Nobody's going to heal
mm,
because it's not me,
right.
it's everybody, right? So nobody will
Mm-hmm.
see the need for healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mhm. Grace and gratitude. It feels like balm for the soul. I love that, Lottie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I erased my vision board with all my goals and wrote to be grateful and appreciative for my life. Excellent, Gabriella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that's wonderful. I like that. Yeah. So, um, so now I'm going to talk about briefly about an herb that we can work with that works
Yes.
with anger, and that herb is burdock root.
Burdock root. I have burdock root.
Yeah,
I think I got burdock root because of you. I think
yeah.
you made me get
You
burdock
have
root.
the release tincture, right? Which has burdock root.
Oh,
It has
yeah.
yeah, burdock root. It has dandelion. Mm-hmm.
Dandelion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you actually, everyone, just so you know, I had a reading with Priestess Ifasheye, and it was because of my personal anger that I have with my family. And if I remember correctly, you said start drinking this because you want to get rid of that so that if and when talks ever happen, I'm not holding on to the anger.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, and
empty. It's empty.
and then
There's no more in here.
the dandelion the dandelion will help you to use your voice. I'm not going to go any further because I think that'll be the topic for next week.
Okay.
Using your voice.
Dandelion.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you're angry, some people get so angry to the point that they can't even speak, right?
Yes.
So that's why I created that blend with the dandelion. Because as you know, I create herbal blends for
Yes.
both physical and spiritual
Yes.
healing.
Now you
Right?
created this blend from your spiritual work. You
Yeah.
decided
Yeah.
that
Mhm,
you created
mhm.
this blend
Yeah. Hmm.
for us, for people like me. Okay.
Yeah. And then of course,
Do you notice how much I've changed though? I'm not like
yes.
you have noticed?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's not easy, child. It's not easy.
It's not. It's not. And that's attributed to um that combination, the dandelion, the burdock. And I do, sometimes I would add a little hawthorn berry for the heart
Yes.
because you need to be able to love yourself through it. It's a hard process.
I have hawthorn in my
Yeah.
as a tea, but I
Mhm.
do want to say that working on yourself takes time. So
I actually
time
put
is
some
your best
hawthorn.
friend.
I put some hawthorn in there.
Oh, you put some hawthorn?
I
You made
did.
this one special for me. I know you
I
did.
did. So, and that's
Um,
how I do it now.
Healing takes time, not overnight. I never expected to get this tincture and have some miracle stars coming around me the minute I started taking it. I just started taking it, and this is like my second or third bottle. It's been over a year. Shoot,
Yeah. Yeah. So burdock, right, helps
come
us
on.
to work through anger. So from a physical standpoint, burdock is an excellent liver and blood cleanser. It
Oh,
helps to remove the buildup of toxins moving through our body, right? And right, because sometimes we're really hard on our liver, with the
mm-hmm.
medications that we might take and, other things.
Hold
Yes,
on,
it's true.
hold on. You said liver and what cleanser?
Blood.
Blood cleanser.
Yeah.
Oh, I need
Yeah.
more of this. I need more of this.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
need more. I'm down to nothing. I don't know if you can tell because the bottle's so dark, but there's nothing
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Burdock is also good for skin issues like skin eruptions, for acne, psoriasis, um, eczema, boils, um, inflammation, even, right? And burdock is, herbs in general, we have to be really patient with herbs. To your point, as you just said a few minutes ago, can't
Yeah.
expect to just take 2 drops and think, oh, this is not working, right? You really have
Right.
to work with it, to work with the energetics of it. Burdock specifically is very slow to work, very slow, but
Oh.
very sure,
Oh, okay.
right?
Slow
So
to
typically,
work.
if we have someone taking burdock, you know, would have them take it for like 3 months, and then you might take a break for a month to see,
Right.
how it
Right.
feels for
Right.
you. It's a tonic. It's also considered a tonic.
Right.
So,
I've done that. I've taken
mhm,
it, stopped, then I reorder. Yes.
mhm, mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So spiritually, right? When you think
Mm-hmm.
about anger, especially deep-rooted anger, how deep it goes, how deep it can go, right? Well, the burdock roots, the plant, can go as deep as 6 feet into the ground.
Oh,
So now think about, as if you were to pull up a burdock plant, you
right.
could be pulling up like 6 feet of root, right? So it's
Wow.
going really deep, right?
Right.
Because so now think about anger that's really deep. It's going way
Got
down
it. Got it.
to pull that up. So now think
Oh.
about when it's pulling it up, when you're pulling up that root from the earth, what could happen? Kind of ruptures, right? The dirt gets pulled out of place.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
right, and you
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
you pull that root out, and then you'll fix you can then fix the dirt back and what and put it
Right.
back in place, right? So this is what
Right.
burdock will do for us energetically. It's going to go deep and
Oh,
bring that stuff up,
got
and
it.
it can be really difficult work. You have to be
Yeah.
ready to do it
Yeah.
energetically, right?
Yeah.
And so, um, and I always say for anyone having herbs, for whether it's for tea or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
also,
Mm-hmm.
for high blood pressure or for whatever skin issues.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't know the metaphysical properties, the spiritual properties, just simply say, you pray over the tea, you drink it, you pray for the physical as well as the spiritual healing as you need it. Wherever it is needed, let that healing go. Wherever in your body that healing is needed, right? So, yeah, so spiritually, it's going to go deep to the root of the issue. And that could mean a lot of crying, a lot of anger, but it's going to force you to speak out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to force you to
And
speak
it
out.
doesn't mean that you get to use that anger on someone. It doesn't mean you get to speak out and use it on the thing or the person that you're angry with.
Mhm, mhm.
Because
Yes.
a lot of times anger comes up in solitude.
Yeah. But right. Absolutely. But if you know that you are intentionally doing that work around anger,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be more mindful, right? Because if you
Mm.
find yourself or getting ready to attack someone, right, you will then catch yourself and you will say, okay, this is stuff that's coming
Not
up.
what I want. It's not what
Right,
I want today.
right. But,
Right.
but I have to allow this stuff to come up. I might need to be alone today. You're right, so I can work through this, right?
But I just want to point out Red Roses says, don't let it be displaced anger. But that all
Hmm.
goes together. When you're
Hmm.
angry about something, putting it on something else, especially on something weaker, somebody weaker. Like that's common. So that's why we're dealing with just anger.
Right. And get into
One,
the root of it. Yeah. Get into the
getting to
root.
the root of thyself
Mhm.
so that we don't displace it.
Mhm.
But putting it on somebody else, that's anger loves that shit. If
We tend to
anger
do
was
that a
a,
lot.
a,
Yeah.
a, a
Yeah.
being,
Hmm.
anger would have tentacles.
Hmm. Yeah, we tend to do that a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, in bringing everything up, it forces us to face the truth, and not just the truth about things external or situations external to our being, right? But truth about ourselves too. So remember, when you go in and you start doing spiritual work or energetic work, healing work, right? On, let's say in this case, anger, you have to be ready to discover that possibly you contributed in some way, right? Depending on what the situation is. So it's not just looking at others and what others are doing to us or others have done to us. It also reveals certain things about ourselves. Maybe we're an angry person who became mean because of something someone has done to us, but at some point we have to acknowledge that we're mean, right? And we have to work it. So that's the truth, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it stems from a thing, but
Yes.
it doesn't change the fact that we're mean, right?
It's
So,
possible.
so it's internal to ourselves, with ourselves, and also external to
But
ourselves.
I do want to point out that when you work on yourself, even in that statement, to have discovered that you're just mean, right? When you have that discovery, you're going to say to yourself, I never want to be that. I never intended that.
Yeah,
And that's when change can occur. But getting there, that's the nut that's hard to crack.
absolutely, absolutely, right?
You know,
Yeah.
Ifeche, I went to California acting like a New Yorker and expected California people who were coming from all over. They were coming from really nice states like Texas, Colorado. They didn't have my upbringing. They didn't have like, if you can survive in New York, you can survive anywhere, right? They
Right.
didn't have that shit inside of them, right? So I go to California with that
Mhm.
mentality, right? Me and my son are going to survive here,
Yeah.
thinking that I had to survive there. I didn't know that if something doesn't work for me, I don't have to stay. But I went with the mentality of surviving. And one of the moms said to me, "Why are you so angry?" And I was like, "I'm a native New Yorker. What you expect?"
But this is how it manifests, and we don't realize it because that
It's
anger
deep
locks
rooted from my childhood.
in. Yeah, and it shows up. It goes with you wherever you go.
But when she had that conversation with me, although my response wasn't the best response, from that response, I had to begin to realize I was making people uncomfortable. I would walk into a room, it used to be called the green room, I don't know what it's called anymore, and mothers would be like, like kind of saying we were having a great moment, but Tracy's here.
Right.
So I began to realize I don't want to be disliked.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to work on me. Now, trust and believe, I respect my boundaries.
Mm.
So I got a tongue that can whip it out.
Yeah.
I choose not to whip it out because I have to understand that what I'm seeing is not what somebody else is doing.
Right.
That what I'm seeing is my
Right.
anger.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That you need to work through and figure out how you got there, what got you there, and now work through it. And
Yes.
again, it can be something that was done to you, you know, so that
Yeah.
it happened external to you, right? Someone offended you in
Yeah.
some way, but the fact is now you're here. You're living with the anger, not the person. You are,
Right. They've
right?
moved
And
on.
it's impacting how you're showing up, even though someone offended you that got you to that place. So
Yes.
again, you're accountable to do the needed and the necessary. For some people, it's therapy. For some people, it's meditation. It depends on the degree of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it first starts with acknowledging, recognizing, and acknowledging
Yes.
that adjustments need to be made.
I have to tell you, when you begin to acknowledge you,
Mm-hmm.
you become happier.
Yeah,
I have to tell you, it's one of the best gifts I gave myself.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just again, the beauty about being able to create you
Mm.
in the
Wow.
way that you want people to see you.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that you
Yeah,
have
I understand
control
that.
over that. You can make those
Yeah.
to be who you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I get that because I really love watching the change that I've co-created
Mm-hmm.
with God, with spiritual herbs, right? You don't get there by the snap of the finger. You get there because you meet up with people like Ifa Sheye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I'm going to say this until I die. Like, I've always been looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I thought it was about, Yoruba tradition education, but now I realize it's so much bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so simple anymore. Like, God knew
It's
exactly,
multi-layered, right? It's multi-layered.
multi-layered, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, I'm honored to take burdock root.
Yeah.
I'm honored to listen to you. I'm honored for grace because
Yeah.
I feel like you showed up as grace.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now look, we're sharing you with the world, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we all have to get to a better place. Like we have
Mm-hmm.
to.
Mm-hmm. We do.
We have to. We have to. I like being happy. I like working at happy. I like peace.
Mm-hmm.
I like knowing that at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I could look at the rain before this fuck and be happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I've got a running heart. I got kidneys because I just got my test. I got my liver. I got legs. They hurt, but I still got them.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I got something that gives me something to move, like I'll find the next thing. I
Yeah.
won't be bored for long.
And that's gratitude, right? Being in a
That's
space of
gratitude.
gratitude
Yes.
throughout the healing process, whatever it is. Gratitude
Yes.
and grace, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So burdock will help us to break up old habits, by rooting all those things up, putting it in our face for us to see ourselves
Yeah. I
if we
want to
need.
add,
Mhm.
Red Roses said, I had to choose not to participate in my coworkers' anger and be my authentic self, happy and smiling. Anger is contagious. Anger is gossipy.
Mhm.
Anger needs friends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So feel free to remove yourself from the gossip and the disjointedness of your coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I never get involved, but I have to listen. I have to listen to what's going down. What happened over there, girl? What happened?
Mm-hmm.
She that crazy? Ciao. But I won't
Hmm.
participate. If anything, I will go to that person and figure out what is going on.
Yeah.
So I'll give somebody their own voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do something like that, you'll begin to realize gossip is mean. It's mean girl. And you'll discover the person did nothing wrong.
It
That's what
is.
you'll discover.
Yeah. 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 And a lot of times you're angry about something.
Hmm.
You could be angry at that person about something, but you haven't discussed it. You're keeping it in, so you're talking about that person to everybody. because you want everyone to see that person as a bad person, right? I mean, let's be
Yes.
honest. Sometimes we've been
Yes.
there at one point or the other, right?
Yes.
But really, a lot of times because you're angry at that person and you don't know how to process it.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched this show called Dead to Me on Hulu.
Hmm.
And the main character chased a boyfriend to another country, left her job, chased the boyfriend. That didn't work out. So now she's back at a menial job at the same company. Her best friend worked there. And so
Hmm.
she comes back, and one of the people that she couldn't stand is also still there. So she tells her best friend, we can't stand her. And the best friend goes, actually, her and I are really good friends. And the person couldn't handle that and ultimately said something so derogatory to drag her friend in. And the friend had to go to her and say, no, this is old you.
Right.
New me
Hmm.
can't do that with her,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
And then once you allow yourself or someone to like not allow you to participate in all of that ugly, you
Hmm.
free yourself, because that means the person that you were friends with, you may not be able to be friends with them anymore if they can't recognize that change has occurred while they were gone.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. You know.
It's okay to
So
go to work and not have to talk to them people
yeah,
that want you to participate in gossip. It's wrong.
yeah, that's okay. So I just wanted to mention a couple of contraindications about burdock, right?
Go for it.
So it can lower blood pressure, right? It lowers blood pressure. So, um,
Oh,
just be mindful if you're on blood pressure medication, you know. Um, yeah, this is something
okay.
to be mindful of, right?
Okay.
And also, it can lower insulin levels for those who take insulin shots, for diabetes. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's just something to be mindful of, right? So
Right.
you wouldn't
Right.
take your insulin shot and the burdock at the same time, right?
Got it.
You take it, some hours apart,
Right.
just
Right.
monitor how it works. Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah.
the only two?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
These are good. These are good to know.
Yeah, and just a reminder, it's slow to work because remember that it's so deeply rooted, right? Whatever it's pulling out is so deeply rooted. So it's going to take time for it to come out, right? Physically, spiritually, energetically, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So,
deeply rooted issues are slow to
yeah,
clear up.
of course. So it's the same that's the same energy it's going to work with energetically,
Yes.
right? Mhm.
Oh, E for
Yeah.
Shay. This made me happy. The opposite of anger.
Yeah.
This made me so happy. I am so happy right now.
Mhm. I hope
You know what's interesting? My mom, as an external thing, she was gifted. She just didn't realize how gifted she was. And
mhm.
as an external thing, she would treat our hair with burdock root, nettle, sage, and a little bit of boric acid.
Burdock
And
root is really good for the hair. Again, a
mhm,
lot of these herbs that I'll be discussing have so many indications, right? But
yes,
I try to just focus on the indications that is on top of them. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's
I
very good
do.
for the hair. It's very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I'm also thinking about brain power though, right? Like I think she might have did it by accident, but
Mhm.
because she had a lot of anger issues, so I'm just wondering. And she was a herbalist, but she just didn't know it, right?
Mhm.
And we
Mhm.
lived off the book Back to Eden,
Oh
and
my
that was
goodness. I
all
think that
there
was in
was.
everyone's household.
Everyone's household is all there was, right?
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
she would use the book.
Actually, as we were going through my father's things, my father,
You found
I
a
found
book?
it because I knew he, as a little girl growing up, that was a book that was a staple in the house. And
That's
I
the book.
found it.
That's the
I found it.
jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think the combination that she made,
Hmm.
I'm just wondering, like, is it for brain power against anger? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if it is. And I know she must have done it by accident,
Hmm.
but I'm wondering if there was a part of her that wanted for us not to carry anger.
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
Once,
Yeah.
sometimes spirit will give me a formulation to make, and then
Mm-hmm.
months later I'm looking at the formulation and I'm like, why did I put that together? And then I have to
Right.
remind myself, okay, that's spirit knows why spirit did that. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
Right.
So yeah, so who knows?
So
It's probably,
this is the book that we all grew up on.
yeah.
And I found this years later. And let me tell you, Ifasheye, no matter where I move, I carry this book with me.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
All right. This
Yeah.
book is the jam.
It is. I think it's still very relevant to this day. Do you know what I mean? In
This
spite of
day.
all of the new discoveries or latest discoveries around herbalism, but still,
Hmm.
that book is still very, valuable. Hmm. Yeah,
All right, sweetie.
that's what I have
I, I, I
today.
want to thank you so much. Thank you for Burdock Group today.
You're welcome. So next week, I'm going to talk about fear. And so, yeah. I'm going to talk
Fear.
about fear. And so you'll understand better why the combination that I did with the release tincture, right? It's for cleansing the liver and the blood, right? But also helping us to release spiritually, right? Anger and being able to use our voice. And so that's where dandelion would come in.
And I think a lot of times
Yeah.
fear is a component, right?
Hmm.
It's a component of if I clear this up, like you know what this looks like today, but if you clear it up,
Hmm.
what does tomorrow look like if you could clear up the energy?
Yeah.
And a
Think about
lot of
the life.
people like to hold on to the ugly, not clear
Yeah.
up the new.
Think about the life. Some people hold on to anger because, so let's say someone has done something to them really, really bad, not just stepping on their toes, right? But
Right.
really, really bad, that has left them so angry, right? And they're
Hmm.
holding on to that anger. And that person is possibly living their best life, right?
Yeah.
And here
Yeah.
you are in prison, in a prison
Uh,
that you actually created for yourself.
for yourself. Yes. Yes.
It's like the person has thrown you down in a ditch, right?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
there are ladders all around you to be able to climb out, and you refuse to.
Because of the
Think about
anger.
that.
That's
And
deep.
so now you're in the ditch. Well, this whoever is experiencing life, and you're not allowing yourself to experience life because you are holding on to the anger. And again, it's hard work, and it's not always easy to let go. But think about yourself and the fact that you're worth it. You're worthy of having and living the
You
best life
are. You
that you
are.
can possibly live, right? So, and if it means doing the cleanup to the mess that someone
Mm.
created, it's okay because it's for you and it's
Mm.
about.
I love that. Let's talk about your class real quick, Ifa Sheye.
Oh,
We
yes.
have Ifa Sheye's class this Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
February 19th.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ifa Sheye.
At
Go ahead.
6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am
Mm-hmm.
going to speak on the Orisha Oshun. I
Mm-hmm.
am a priestess of Oshun. So
Ah,
I plan to make this particular workshop very special.
yes.
Yeah. So We're going to learn about Oshun as being more than just the goddess of sensuality, right? She's so much more than that. You know, as indicated on the flyer, she's referred to as a manly woman. You know, she's so much more than just beauty and sexuality and sensuality. Yeah. So
Yes.
if anyone would like to attend, it's $25. And you can go to my website, orinaturals.com. And from the menu, if you go to offerings, then you'll see workshops, and then you'll be able to find it there.
Yes.
Yes,
And the first
Tosha,
workshop is
I saw your registration, Tosha. Tosha says I secured my spot yesterday.
yes, yes,
Yeah, because I like to keep the group pretty small, Tracy, as you know, so that people can
yes,
feel comfortable to ask questions or
yes.
share,
Right.
experiences without feeling, sometimes people feel intimidated to speak in front of a large group. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like it to be intimate, as you know. Yeah.
And
So
don't forget, guys, Zoom is international.
hmm
So come
yeah.
join us.
hmm
I love your classes. I'm excited for Oshun. I'm so excited. I do not believe I'm a daughter of Oshun, but
hmm
I'm excited to clear up some of the less flattering descriptions of her.
hmm Yeah.
Right? She's very, very powerful, and
hmm
that is something that's being left out of the equation.
Yeah. Extremely
So,
powerful.
so happy.
Yeah, and an advocate for women in so many different.
Oh, an advocate for women.
But I don't want to talk too much.
Oh, oh yeah,
Just,
yeah. Okay, I'm
just,
sorry. I'm
just keep
sorry.
it for inside the room.
I'm so sorry. I was so excited when you said that.
I know.
I was like,
But I get
advocate
excited
for
too. Actually,
women.
that was a reminder to myself, not to you, because
I was like,
I
no,
could
but I was like,
get the
advocate
conversation
for
going.
women. Like I got really excited then.
Yeah.
Not, it doesn't take much for me to be happy. So, an advocate for women was like,
No, I had to stop myself. I didn't say it for you. I said it for me because
got it.
I can go on and on. The next thing you know, I'm giving the work
Yes.
just right here.
So I had a little girl that was going to pay for, but I haven't heard from her at this point. But
hmm
it's all okay.
hmm
I've reached back out to her, which is
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
orinaturals.com.
hmm
And then go to the three lines next to the basket and
Yeah.
press workshop.
Yeah, that's if you're doing it from your phone. But on the website, you'll actually see the menu. I mean, excuse me, on the using like a laptop or computer, you'll actually see the menus written across the top.
And Gabriella, I don't believe Ifashe cleared anything up. I just want you to come to the class, and there's a lot more that's going to get cleared up. So, orinaturals.com. All right, sweetie. Thank you, Ifashe. I'm going to get a clap button. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're
I
welcome.
honor your presence in my life. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I love doing this.
All right, guys. I do want to remind everyone. Oh, Nicole says, thank you, ladies, that
hmm
there will be no conversations with God tomorrow. Tomorrow is Agriculture Day, and I'm going to enjoy getting some fresh fruits and vegetables from agriculture people.
Nice.
All right.
hmm
So I will see you guys soon because we have to do some predicted readings. Ifashe, Lottie says thank you with olives. That is too cute. I love the olives.
Thank you, Lottie.
Soul Sister says, I enjoy this. Phil and Lover says, thank you. You was really amazing. Awesome.
Thank you.
Clapping of the hands. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.
And a great weekend.
And a great weekend. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Oh, hi, sweetie. You know, I dreamt of a full name last night.
We're still alive.